Baby, I'm a gangster too. Baby, I'm a gangster too.
Hi, babies, and welcome back to Kisses and Chaos. This is your host, Lucy. I am so excited to be here back with you guys in a solo episode. And if you're watching this, you know that we're in my old setup. My new setup is right back there. The reason why is just simply because I am doing so much stuff. I leave tomorrow for Salem and setting up a tripod and setting up all my lights because I've been doing full-time TikTok now. It wasn't in the cards for me today. And I was like, well, I'm going to stream anyway, so might as well just do it on my webcam like we used to. So hopefully it's like a little nostalgic, okay? But anyways, guys, I have so much to tell you, so much to catch you up on. I have wanted to talk to you guys for so long. I know it's been about like 4 weeks. We're back in season 3, by the way. Thank you guys so much. Season 3, I am so excited. And if you guys haven't read the title, we're going to be talking about how you can't fix anybody but yourself. And I don't even know where to begin on my drama. But a little life update, or a lot of life update. Oh my God, I have so much to tell you guys. I went back to no contact, and I feel like I'm reading off of a script because recently I just went through my old episodes because I'm just so upset with myself because I felt so strong, and then I took her back, and I'm just repeating the same thing, and I'm stuck in a cycle. And I really realized that Mama is back in therapy. I am back in therapy, which was needed, especially after all this emotional trauma that I just have gone through and put myself through, to be honest. But yeah, I know maybe Mrs. Right, me and her are actually really good friends, and she understands like where I'm at. Honestly, I feel really bad because I thought I was ready, but I was not ready at all. And every single time I have felt done with no contact, I really have. I really felt it in my bones, and I don't know what happens inside of me, but like a part of me really craves her. And maybe it craves like that toxicity and that passion or whatever, but I don't know what it is, but that girl has some fucking spell under me. But now it is done, and I think we're starting off season 3 as officially single. Again, I literally started off season 2 like that, and I was like, we're single, hot girl single summer, and now here we are, hot girl single October, even though it's about to end. Oh no. But yeah, honestly, guys, there's so much to talk about with my ex, but I can't talk about it right now. When I'm ready to talk about it, I will, because I know you guys are probably like, okay, what was like the final straw? Like what fucking happened? And I wish I could tell you guys right now, but until everything is more set in stone, I just need to give you guys just a little bit. We basically got back together a couple months ago, and she told me she was doing all this work on herself. She went to therapy, and turns out she was not going to therapy at all. I found out because, ladies, listen to your intuition, okay? Always listen to your intuition. Because I literally was in her house, right? And she's at work. And I see her workbook that she has sent me pages that she's like, oh, I'm just working on my workbook, whatever, when she was trying to like woo me back. So I know it's an invasion of privacy, but I went through it. And guys, there was 2 pages done. She's had that workbook for 6 months. And I know because I bought it for her. And the amount of time she sent me like pages of her working on it and stuff. And I was just like, oh, okay, this is bad. And at this point, she just asked me to be her girlfriend again. We're posting TikToks, like, oh, Jesus Christ. And she basically, when she gets home, I'm like, so why haven't you done more pages in your workbook? You said that you've been doing that like almost every day. And she like started a big fight about like invasion of privacy. And I was like, I understand, but like, it's like when you check someone's phone. It's like, I know it was invasion of privacy, but there's shit here. So let's get to the actual point. And I was just like, can you please just show me your therapy receipts? So she like basically shows me her BetterHelp like app. And I was like, no, this isn't a receipt. I know what a receipt looks like. Can you just show me it? And she was just like, why the fuck don't you believe me? What the fuck is wrong with you? And I was just like, just show me it. Like, why is it so hard? And then she was like, okay, I haven't gone. It was a big blowout fight. It was just like, fuck. And I still took her back after that. And that is a whole other situation. That was, I don't know what the fuck I was on. I literally must have been so fucking digmatized. I don't even know. I've never been like this with somebody. I've never had like let them have this pull over me. All my friends are like, Lucy, you're usually so fucking strong. And like don't take shit from people. And I don't know why this girl does. And that's why I'm like, it must be her strap game. But low key, I know there will be other girls that can strap me. It's just I've never had one. So now I'm like, one of my things for a new girlfriend will be like, you have to know how to use the strap. Like you have to be a daddy. Like I need someone to put me in my soft feminine. And that's what she did. But so fucked, but whatever. So, but after that we got back together and it just ended again. And yeah, she basically like broke up with me at my show, like while I was right before I was about to play. She like blocked me on everything because she really didn't like one of my friends, because one of my friends had a crush on me at one point. And then me and her were like hanging out, but I was like, you fucked people and still stayed their friends. She literally fucked somebody when we fucking broke up for an hour and they still were friends. Like I want to make you comfortable and I'm trying, but it's also like, it's not really fair when you're doing, your shit with others and your friends. And when I first met her, I don't know, she was just like in her douche mentality, but she was like, it's gonna be pretty hard for me to find a friend that I haven't fucked. I'm like, oh wow, pussy dry. So yeah, I don't know, man. But caused a big blow up fight and I was just like crying before my show. And I was already like dealing with my depression really bad that day. I was just like looking in the mirror and I was just like, this cannot be my life. I cannot sit here and keep doing this. And I know she has BPD and that's why I've given her so many excuses, but she still isn't in therapy. Even after she lied and manipulated, the amount of excuses, she's like, well, you want me to come down there and I work all the time and I do this. I'm like, if you have time to scroll on TikTok, you have time to fucking find a therapist. I'm sorry. It's just not important to her and that's fine. And that is why we're going to like, you cannot fix anybody but your fucking self. You can see potential in somebody. You can see what they should be and what they could be if they just worked on themselves. But like, that is not your place to do. That is not your place to fix. That is theirs. They have to do it and they can't do it for you, because if they do it for you, then they'll end up resenting you if like something happens or whatever. Like they have to do it for them. And a lot of people enjoy their own suffering. And I think a lot of us, we fall in love with the potential. And when people have had childhood traumas and other things, we're just like, we give excuses after excuses and they say they want to get better, but words don't mean shit. Words and talk are cheap. Like it's all about actions, but we get so fucking delusional because of limerence and we're just like, oh my God, we're gonna have a baby. She's gonna fix herself. Like, oh, and fuck you, TikTok. I literally think my TikTok gaslights me because it'll be like, but they can change. Some people can't change overnight because of the things they went through, but they're trying, they're suffering battles every day, like whatever. I'm like, is my ex paying TikTok to put these on my fucking For You page? Because this is bullshit. I'm so over it. I literally feel gaslighted from it, or it like shows me stuff about borderline and then I like feel bad and I'm like, maybe I'm being too hard. And it's like, no, she doesn't want to fucking fix herself. So why the fuck am I basically begging this woman to do that? And a lot of times, like this last time, is what I've realized is it's not about love with her. It's more about like this sense of control. Like she doesn't even really feel love from me unless I'm jealous over her or whatever. So I like always like amped up my jealousy and stuff for her. And I think a lot of the reason why she didn't want to let me go was because she didn't want anybody else to have me. And I think sometimes I felt the same way, especially because like when we would like break up and then we would kind of talk again, she'd be like, yeah, so many girls are in my DMs. Oh my God. And I'm like, oh, these are all things that push me into like just forgiving her faster. But yeah, I really think when people fuck you over, they need to make you the villain in some sort of capacity. If that's making up things or ruining your character by basically making up shit, to paint you in this light so the things that they did don't seem as bad. That shit is so pathetic and so pussy. Like, I'm sorry. I think that is like so like you're pathetic if you're doing that. I have cheated. I would never be like, oh yeah, well, I cheated because that ex hit me or that ex did this to me. Like, no, I was an asshole. I was an asshole and I was young and I didn't know, but I'm not going to like ruin her character just because she has this like dirt on me. Like sometimes we do shitty things. Humans make mistakes. I think some people are more conniving and more evil, but like why ruin somebody else's character just because you're upset that either that person doesn't want you anymore or that they're talking about the things that you've done to them. But like a lot of times like narcissists or people with narcissistic tendencies really need to control the narrative because they do not want to be the one that looks bad. And I think having a podcast can highlight a lot of the bad things. That's why I try to really say like both sides of things, because I'm no walk in the park. I know I'm high maintenance. I'm very needy, and that's fine. But I love with my whole heart, and I don't know. I would never try to destroy somebody just because I was hurt. So yeah, when your brain is trying to fix people, it's usually chasing that dopamine hit. That helper's high feels really fucking good, like a little too good, because you feel needed. You're like, I'll be your mommy. You need to learn this. I'll teach you how to be a good person. I'll teach you how to be a good girlfriend to me. And I don't know why it like does this little dopamine thing in my head. And it's only been like a couple of my girlfriends I've experienced that with. But that is how emotional addiction works. The hot and cold cycles will give your brain a reward like gambling. We've talked about that so many times. But you're not in love with them. You're in love with the potential. You have to ask yourself, if you're in a relationship right now and that person never changed, they're exactly who they are right now, would you still love and want to be with them? Because I bet almost half of you are going to say no. You're like the amount of people, especially in your 20s and early 30s, that chase potential is just insane. I've done it a lot. It's hard not to, especially when you see somebody's soul and see who they could be if they didn't go through all these shitty things in life. But then you have to think about what Mel Robinson said. They did that to you because they're an asshole who has unresolved trauma, who doesn't want to fix it, and they will keep hurting people because hurt people hurt people. So it's like you have to like wake yourself up out of that and be like, no, I would not want this like to be the mother or father of my kids. No, I would not want this person to date my best friend or my sister. You know, like that is a huge question to ask yourself. And speaking of Mel Robinson, I am reading the Let Them book. It is truly amazing. You know, I think my therapist actually told me 2 weeks ago, because 2 weeks ago, me and my ex were back together. And I was like, yeah, we're back together. And she was like, well, how do you feel? And I was like, I don't know. I don't really believe it. And I'm still upset with her because she hasn't even mentioned therapy. And you would think, you know, like when she gets back with me, she'd be like, oh, baby, I'm going to go to therapy. I'm going to do this, you know? And she was like, well, she doesn't want to. She's not making that a priority. She makes the gym. She makes meal prepping. She makes making TikToks, going to work, all this other stuff a priority. But that's not her priority. So you can either let her or you can let go. And I was like, damn, I'm like, this is why you go to therapy, because of moments like that. And at that moment, I just couldn't let go. I literally I didn't start a fight, but I tried to bring it up. I was like, it just kind of annoys me that you haven't said anything about therapy. And then it was just like this whole blown out argument that I don't understand that she does so many things and yada, yada. And then I was just like, damn, I have to just kind of let her do this, huh? I'm not gonna win this one. I don't think she's ever gonna want to go. And Mel Robinson says you're one decision away from having a different life. And sometimes that decision is walking away. And that is what I'm doing. And guys, how many times have I said this on the pod? I mean, shit, we're in season 3 and I'm starting off Hot Girl October, Halloween. I literally started off both seasons being single again from the same girl. It's kind of a joke, but it also shows you like how real a toxic relationship can be. But you can't change people. You can change your boundaries, your reactions, and your focus. But you cannot change that person that you're betting on. Can you imagine you are one of those people that you like, you see, and they're in this like horrible relationship. The guy treats her like shit, or vice versa, whatever. And you're just like, oof, God, that can never be me. But it's because one person was holding on to the potential, but then they never got that potential. That person stayed the same. Because reality, a lot of people won't change. A lot of people are extremely stuck in their way. It is so hard to change. When I started going to therapy when I was 23, I was a lot more toxic then. I definitely was very, I don't know, maybe before your frontal lobe develops, you're more like, I'm untouchable. Woo, I don't do anything wrong. I'm the shit. And then your frontal lobe develops and you're like, depression, so it's hard. And it's hard to realize that you could be the problem in a lot of situations. And a lot of people don't want to face that. And I think there's a lot of ego and pride that goes into it. But that's why you can't focus on your partner or your friends or your parents, their journey. You can't focus on what they need to change. You only need to focus on yourself because you can't change them. That has to be up to them. Also, I've been crashing out and crying a lot because I'm just like, I have chose some pretty terrible people in my life. And I haven't been, and I say that, and I haven't been the best girlfriend at times either. I've been shittier to girls and then better to some that have completely abused me physically, emotionally. I have been really sad because I'm like, I've had multiple girlfriends do things to me that are really fucked up. And it's like, oh, is this like a reflection of my self-worth? But you don't attract people that reflect your self-worth. You attract people that reflect your self-concept. So if deep down you believe that love is something you have to earn, then you're going to keep finding people and being with people that make you earn it. And for me, I have realized I've dated a lot of people who have a lot of unresolved childhood trauma and a lot of substance or alcohol issues and a lot of anger, and a lot of aggressiveness. And I have that fixer mentality. And I also, aside from just wanting to fix them, I confuse passion and fighting for love. I have this thrill of it. My Venus is in Aries, which Venus is how you love. I'm an astrology girly. And that means I love impulsiveness. I love the rush. I love the intensity. And that is often mistaken for as love. Mel Robinson says love comes down to three things: admiration, respect, and contribution. And contribution in the way of not trying to fix the person. And that got me really thinking. Admiration. Okay. Do you admire the person you're with? Do you want to be more like them? Do they make you want to be a better person? Do they you look at them and you're like, oh, fuck, I want to be more like that. Because when I look at my parents, I see that, like my mom and my dad. My mom's very outgoing and nurturing and inviting, and my dad's more introverted. So he gets to feel that and become more of that when he's with her. He's taught her that over the years. I think my mom would probably say with my dad, she admires how he's very loyal and he stands his ground. He's very good at saying no. My mom is a people pleaser. So I think they both learned those things from each other. And I think when you come down to those things, contribution and respect and admiration, do you have those things in your current relationship? Because I didn't. I tried so hard to have that respect. And I did admire her for some things. I admired her so much for how she really came from nothing and really made something of herself, and really, having not the best childhood and becoming something, and not being like on the street when she easily could have. I think that's amazing. And I really admired her work ethic from that. But with respect and contribution, she definitely did try sometimes, but definitely contribution was there sometimes, but the respect was out the window. Definitely. I think once you start calling names and stuff, that's where it starts going. But when someone has mental disorders and mental illnesses, you really can just write that off as, oh, it's just a split. But words really hurt. And I think because I get bullied, I get terrible messages. I get messages, kill myself. I get horrible, horrible messages, like I'm a slut, whatever. So having somebody that you love so much, your partner, say these terrible things to you, it really hurts. And I think sometimes, it's not even just her splitting. I think it's just her nature. It's easier to focus on fixing somebody else than fixing yourself. And sometimes, baby, you need to look in the mirror and realize, why am I putting so much goddamn energy towards this person? I need to put it towards me. I need to put it towards my goals, my aspirations. That's why I was like, I need to go back to therapy. I need to go back to therapy. And I think having her there, my therapist again, she clocked me a lot. She's like, well, look at you. You're in the same cycle that you were in with one of your last relationships. And I was like, yup, I am. She's like, you have this fixer mentality sometimes with these people. And I'm like, yep, I know. And I think sometimes I always said about No Contact, I always said she's a great distraction from all the other chaos in my world. But self-healing is very hard. It's admitting that your standards slipped, which mine did. It means acknowledging that you settled for breadcrumbs and lies and called it love. But baby, that version of you was not weak. She was just trying to survive. She was somebody who had the biggest heart and believed in this person so much, more than they believed in themselves. You stayed through all the bad things, all the bad shit they did, because you believed in that person so much. That's loyalty. But now it's time to rewrite your story. So if you're dealing with this is what I've been doing. I know it feels corny, but it's a little mirror moment, little mirror magic, glamour magic. I want you to stand in front of that mirror tonight and say this: I am not a rehab center for broken people. I can't fix anybody but myself. Pouring that love and energy into myself will change everything. There's a new life right around the corner for me. And listen, the cycle is hard to break. It is extremely hard. I have tried to do it for a year and a half. I have done multiple cord cutting ceremonies. Did I just pay an Etsy witch to cut our cord? Yes, I did. Because obviously I cannot do it myself. I'm trying anything because this is just no longer good for me. It's affecting my mental health, my physical health. And it's making me feel shitty all the time. So do those mirror affirmations, look at yourself, do something nice for yourself. And I want all of you guys to focus on what you can control: your peace, your boundaries, and your energy. Don't chase clarity from chaos. Calm people do not need convincing. And boundaries are not walls. I always used to think like putting up a boundary was like putting up a wall. It's not that. It's self-respect. When you set them, you teach somebody how to treat you, and teach yourself that peace matters more than pleasing. And how many times have all of us had our boundaries crossed? It's hard. You'll say it to them, be like, do not do this again. This is my boundary. I'm leaving. And then they do it again. And then you don't leave. Or you leave for a little bit like I did. And I always thought this is going to make her learn her lesson, but never did. And here I am a year and a half later, season 3, still talking about her. Instead of saying, how do I make my partner better? Replace that with, how can I show up for myself better today? Let go of the potential version of them that you've created in your head. Let go of all those babies and all the marriage and all this shit. If they just get their shit together, let that shit go. It doesn't exist. It exists inside of your fucking mind that you made because you guys talked about it. But talk is cheap. Talk is cheap. What are their actions doing? Their actions are crossing your boundaries constantly and not fixing themselves. They're expecting a fucking savior, and that's not you. So that's it for today, babies. I love you all so fucking much. So much chaos. I just simply want peace. And I know people are gonna be like, why are you talking about on your podcast? Talking about on my podcast is extremely therapeutic to me. I also feel like if one of my favorite, celebrities, I hate calling me a celebrity, it feels weird, but if one of my favorite artists had a podcast and she was talking about her back and forth relationship, it would just make me feel not as alone and seen, because I'd be like, oh, okay, if someone like her is doing it and has, lost all their self-respect by taking back this person a billion times, then I'm not pathetic. I'm just a girl that has a big heart and really believes in people. And when I love someone, I really, really love them. So I hope I can help somebody, and I don't want any hate towards anybody. That's not what I want towards this. I think in season 1, I was definitely angry I was definitely angry. I think now I'm just truly want peace. I don't want any hate spreaded because it's just simply not the point of this podcast. You can't fix people, but you can inspire them by fixing yourself. You're not their therapist, their rehab, or their emotional support human. You are the prize. You are the pedestal. You are the project that actually matters. So go journal, take a walk, block the person like I did, and I'm gonna keep it blocked. I'm not starting off another season doing this. I am going to be single. I don't want to date. I'm not on dating apps. Have I flirted with some people that have slid in my DMs? Sure, but I'm so emotionally unavailable right now. I need to pour that love into myself and not repeat the same patterns like I have and hurt people in the process, because I definitely was not ready for maybe Mrs. Right. And I think I definitely did hurt her, and I do feel really bad about that. But thankfully, she's been so understanding, and we've created a good friendship out of that. But yeah, this has been Kisses and Chaos. I'm your host, Lucy. Happy Halloween. I love you so much, my beautiful chaotic angels. I'm really happy that we got to do this together. And yeah, I love you. Happy Halloween, babies. Bye.
Baby, I'm a gangster too.